Hi everybody. So I am doing something just a little bit different today. I'm gonna be cooking. I'm super excited about this, and I just got done with my workout, so I'm doing something light. I'm just making a really simple chicken bruschetta, balsamic vinaigrette topping over romaine and spinach. Super simple, but this bruschetta is something that I made yesterday. It is a Caprese style bruschetta. I'm really excited about it. Okay. Alrighty. So here I have all my stuff. I've already washed and prepped and cut my romaine hearts and my baby spinach. I have my beautiful little basil plant that I have to add my hanging herb garden outside. Beautiful tomatoes on the vine. One of my favorite things is the prepared peeled garlic that you can get at grocery stores. I love it because it saves me prep time, and I also use garlic pretty frequently when I'm cooking for fragrant notes, flavor as well. I actually need more. I have my balsamic vinegar and my olive oil, some grilled chicken from the other day, white onion, and then my stuff, my knife, cutting board, garlic press, and my bowl. My garlic press and my stainless steel bowls are probably my favorite things in the kitchen. I also have salt and pepper. Yeah, okay, so with your tomatoes, when you're doing a Caprese style, make sure these are washed, because I don't remember if I did that when I got home the other day. When you're doing a Caprese style bruschetta, the most important part is your basil. You want to make sure that it is fresh, that it hasn't picked up, which is why I prefer using the planted or like fresh picked basil versus dried, because sometimes, and this tomato has a little bit of a bad spot on it, but that's okay. We're just going to cut it out. I have washed my hands. Make sure you do that when you're prepping. And yeah, fresh basil really makes a difference, and also the way that you cut it. So right now I'm just dicing up some of these plum tomatoes. If you're not that confident with your knife skills yet, please be careful. Remember that you can always curl your fingers back, because I am using one of my favorite knives in the kitchen. I know that it's sharp enough to cut the tomato skin, but if you're not that confident, use a knife with a serrated edge, because it cuts tomatoes very nicely without smashing them. Because a lot of knives, it's kind of like bread when you cut tomatoes. Like I know that this particular knife that I'm using right here is sharp enough. But you want to make sure that the knives you're using, like you can see, this is super easy. Guys, I'm actually a knife salesman. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're being very careful. Not that I've been this good always. I definitely had a bit of a learning curve when I first started. I'm still a little bit afraid of my mandolin slicer, which maybe one of these days I will show you guys how to make homemade potato chips, because that's something I enjoy doing. Now that I've kind of sort of perfected it, and gotten the slice down right. But I'm still sort of afraid of my mandolin slicer, just because I've had several bad experiences with it where I got a little cocky and got ahead of myself. You want to make sure that these tomatoes are roughly uniform, just because you want them bite-sized for a bruschetta, because traditionally this would go on top of crostini. But I am on a low-carb week, so this is my torture, that I get to eat it on top of a salad instead of a really nice crisp of bread. So, dicing up these tomatoes. I love this knife, as you guys can see why. It just makes everything super easy, and it's super easy to clean. Super simple. But yeah. So Caprese salads are one of my, just by themselves, like the traditional ones with the mozzarella. Also, I don't have mozzarella, because, ran out today, but I'm also lactose intolerant. So I try to stay away from it and use it very sparingly. But yeah. So while I'm prepping, just wanted to take a quick second. I wanted to do a different type of video today, just because cooking is one of my favorite things. It's something that I do when I'm stressed, or, I mean, I love cooking, so I'll cook all the time. I make stuff up as I go all the time when I cook. And sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's really bad, but it's usually always really pretty, just because presentation is 50% of your meal. If it doesn't look appetizing in some way, shape, or form, you're not going to want to eat it. There's obviously exceptions to that, where you know it's going to taste good even if it doesn't look that great. But I like making pretty food. I like making food that tastes good. I was a restaurant manager in another life. And I love cooking, but I love cooking for smaller groups of people, like family, friends, myself, which obviously I'm cooking for myself right now. I am making, as you can see, there's a lot of tomatoes in this bowl. But I really sincerely enjoy cooking and seeing the reactions on people's faces when they try it and they're like, hey, this is really good. I made lettuce wraps and soybean paste stew for one of my friends, and he really liked it. For two of my friends, and they really liked it, and I was so happy to cook for them. We all had leftovers. We all took home leftovers for days, because in that instance I did cook for 3 people times 2, just because I knew that we would want leftovers. I had made it for myself, and I knew that it was going to be good. So I've had my fingers crossed that they would really like it, and they did. Just giving my cutting board a quick wipe down, just to make sure that there's no tomato juice all over my counter. Alrighty. I'm gonna do a little bit of white onion, just because. But yeah. I wanted to share a super simple recipe, one that uses stuff that you can keep in your house. And this is a super basic way. I don't get super fancy with my onions. I try to do them as fast as possible because my eyes water like nobody's business when I cut onions. Because, yeah, everybody knows. Onion cutting hurts. Hurts my eyes. Yeah, so I wanted to do a different type of video today, just because I needed to take a mental break from everything. Talking about various things with a couple close friends, trying to figure out different stressors in your life. This quarantine isn't really helping a lot of people, mental health wise. I love this garlic press. I love it so much. Anyway, so Went to the store the other day, had a pretty bad experience with the girl behind the counter that was at the checkout lane, and it was definitely not a good experience. It was not my fault. I don't know if she was stressed and just taking it out on me or whatever, but it made me really unhappy, and yeah. It's really easy for people to take their stress out on other people because you get to go home and not look that person in the eye anymore. So because these leaves are really tiny, I just grabbed a whole bunch of them because you want that basil flavor throughout the entire thing. And then I'm going to do something called julienning my basil, which is where you roll it up and you just do you roll your knife. This is my favorite way to cut basil. I love cutting basil. It's so much fun. It's easier. It's a lot easier when the leaves are bigger. That's for sure. But yeah. So, lady at the grocery store just put a bad taste in my mouth and set me off yesterday. And I wasn't too happy about it. And I came home and vented about it. And yeah. Whoops. That's why you have paper towels. And I don't know. This whole quarantine thing is really messing with people's mental health. And as you can see, I'm not measuring anything, by the way. This is the point where you would start to taste it. And it looks really pretty, right? I'm gonna let that sit just a little bit because my chicken's already done, and I'm just gonna chat for a second. So let me just scrape all this off the side so all of it's really sitting in there. Let me give it a quick taste. Oops. A little bit more balsamic. And good cooking practice. If you're cooking, obviously I'm cooking for myself, so it doesn't really matter. But just get in the habit of if you use a spoon to taste, throw it out. Not throw it out, but put it in the water. Put it in the sink. So, yeah. Mental health this week isn't the greatest for me. I actually might add more basil. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about how that tasted. So, basically, yeah. I wasn't happy yesterday. And it's okay to admit that. That you had a bad day, or that you're not happy, you're stressed, or you're upset. Remember, like, this is a really tough time. Quarantine is not helping a lot of people. It's making a lot of people really stressed out unnecessarily. It's making a lot of people who are normally very level-headed react in ways that they normally wouldn't. And you have to take that into consideration when you're thinking about yourself and others. Because if you're reacting and lashing out to people that are trying to reach out and help you, or if you're reacting and lashing out, you need to check yourself. Because if people are looking at you in surprise more often than they usually do, or reacting in surprise and then end up stop responding, like, look at what you're doing first and see, hey, maybe is there something wrong with what's going on with me? Like, am I stressed out? Is there something else going on that I need to talk to somebody about? There's a lot of apps out there that can help you with, it's not burnt chicken. It just is very dark. But there's a lot of apps out there that can help you if you're not comfortable talking to the people that you're quarantined with, or if you're not comfortable talking to people in general about issues that are going on. So I noticed for me, I've had a lot of trouble sleeping. I've recently gotten into ASMR. I love ASMR. And I haven't always used it. But I've been using it a lot more lately. And I realized that it was because I was stressed. I was dealing with things beyond my control that I probably should have been talking to somebody about. I probably should have not dwelled on it as much as I did, and ended up hurting myself. Not physically, not like I didn't cut or anything. I just lost sleep and got stressed, and I mean, these masks are just having to wear them 8 hours a day is stressing my skin out. It's stressing me out. Because I'm ending up with breakouts and blackheads in places that I've never had breakouts and blackheads, and I don't know what to do about it. It's definitely very stressful, and it's very hard for me to relax. I mean, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I'm still pretty tense right now. Even just talking to you guys and chatting while I'm cooking. Not necessarily cooking, just kind of creating. At this point, once your Caprese Bruschetta has sat for a couple minutes, you want to give it a good stir, give it another taste, and then this is where you would add your shredded mozzarella cheese, and set it up to be served with crostinis, which I promise on a week where I'm having not low carb week, I will show you how to make crostinis, because I make the best crostinis. Just saying. That's perfect. It's sweet. It's tangy. The basil is really smooth. The onion has a bite to it. The tomatoes are good. The garlic is like a hint of garlic. You can't really taste it. I used 2 medium-sized cloves. So at this point, you're going to start plating. Don't worry about trying to get the juice off the bottom, because that's where your vinaigrette comes from. But yeah. So I just wanted to do something that made me happy today instead of just chatting. Because those of you that know me in real life know that I love to talk. Surprise. So yeah. Check yourself and make sure that you're okay. And make sure that you are checking in with people. Like, text your parents and just say hey, because they might need you to check in on them, and they might be giving you space because you lashed out at them or something like that. And my birthday was last week. My birthday was last Friday. It rained, and I spent it inside, doing pretty much nothing. But yeah. So I've been stressed because I can't celebrate my birthday traditionally. I can't go out with my friends. Can't go out with family to dinner. You know, simple stuff that you used to take for granted, and you used to be like, oh my god, how many birthday dinners do I have to go to? Da 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 da. And for me, I have to remember that this is a milestone birthday. I turned 30. I have to be cautious. I have to be careful. I have to remember to love who is currently in my life and focus on me. I have to focus on what's good for me and what's good for those around me and what's going to make all of us happy. And yeah. There's my chicken bruschetta salad. Looks really sad without the cheese, but I'm sure yours will look better. But yeah. So take time. Oh, sorry. My drawers are super squeaky. Take time to enjoy those around you and take time to enjoy what you love. And I know that it might stress some people out. I know that there might be a situation where you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, I just have to get out of this house. And I get that. I totally get it. But just take it with a grain of salt because everybody's in the same boat at this point. We're all tired of this. We're all ready to go outside. We're all ready to do stuff. For those of us that are still working, like me and my friends, just keep in mind that now is the time, if you haven't already, to say thank you. Those two words can change somebody's entire day. Just say, thanks for being here. Just say, thank you so much. And it doesn't even have to be in reference to, you guys are working so hard. We appreciate you. Like, you don't have to be that dramatic about it. You can just say simply, thank you. And a lot of people are taking that and twisting it and being like, thanks for being here for me. It's like, well, no, I still have bills to pay and I still have things to do and I still have people that I want to go see. Like, I'm still technically on quarantine just as much as everybody else. I go to work and I go home and I sleep and I eat and I work out and I post videos on YouTube. Like, I want to be able to go do stuff. I want to be able to travel. I want to see my family. I want to see my friends. I want to go see my dog. Like, there's a lot of things that you need to remember. Other people are experiencing this too. It's not just you that's stuck in this situation. And my mental health the past couple weeks has definitely deteriorated. Yesterday, I kind of realized how low I was feeling. And about 5 minutes before I started this video, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk to anybody. But I'm doing it. And yeah, I'm sorry that you're staring at a plate of salad with chicken on it and not my face. But yeah, so hope you feel like making this at home with cheese. You can tell I'm super upset that I don't have cheese. And that I'm not eating cheese and that this isn't over pasta, because over pasta it would be super, super delicious. I would recommend putting it over cold pasta instead of hot pasta because sometimes the tomatoes can start to cook and it changes their flavor when you use hot pasta with a cold Caprese Bruschetta like this. And then I will show you guys how to do the crostinis hopefully soon. But yeah. I love cooking and I hope to do more videos like this. I just wanted to start off with something simple. One of my favorites, one of my easy super go-tos. It takes however long this video took. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in as always. All my socials match. If you guys have any questions or want to talk about stuff or want to rant and rave about anything like I did today. But yeah, please remember to just say thank you and take everybody with a grain of salt. And yeah. All right. Bye, guys. I'm hungry. See you next week.